What's going on, guys? I just did a 20-minute recording and I was muted the entire time. Oh, it's gonna be a great video. Alright, so what I wanted to do in today's video, I just wanted to talk about like what I'm doing in the game, and more importantly, how you guys feel about what's going on, and just discuss some things that I have some concerns about. First thing I want to discuss, so we got the Momo, of course. As you guys know, she's ready to go. Finally got the Lydia epic quest. We got, who else do I got to show off? We got Murdoch's ready to go. We'll be discussing him a little bit later. I had a big rant about him, and I'm gonna have to re-rant, which is gonna be weird. But those type of things happen. Sometimes your video equipment messes up. I still need to build up my lust. What characters are you guys working on? I know a lot of people are gonna trying to summon and work on Momo, so that's a thing. That's pretty much it. Just gotta put in more grind. I gotta like do my advents a little bit more often. Let me know in the comment section below how long, maybe not how long you've been playing the game, but let me know if you do all your advents. I remember back when I first started, I did all my 3 stars and all my 4 stars. If I could complete the 4-star advent, I could do all my 3 stars. But that's all we used to do. I had to make sure I did that every day. Now I just do the dailies. And then when a character comes up that I want to work on, then I start working on the advents, make sure I get the drops, and then I just work them up, and then boom, just like Momo here, boom, done. New character, boom, done. Also, I wanted to do a quick thing. I'm not working on the Arachnia video, but I'm working on trying to figure out all the stuff in the dungeons. Let me know any tips, especially in the 3rd stage. I'm trying to find the health triggers in the 3rd stage. But what I know for a fact, the most important thing in that dungeon is the 1st stage. Who you give that buff to is super important, and I'm thinking the best character to give it to might actually be Britain. Now I know it seems that single target damage is frowned upon, certainly like slightly in that dungeon, but I'm thinking that, well, especially if I'm gonna test this out, if the shotgun is amplified by the single target, because it's technically a single target hit to one target, and then it has a thing that spreads. So I kind of want to see if that actually works, because then that additional damage would do a lot of damage to everyone. And this is his S1, so if I built him on like counter, he might even counter it. Yeah, I'm gonna do some testing. Don't you guys worry. I think he might be the sleeper OP for that dungeon. I tried the Grand Duke is really good in there. I've heard people use Tesla, but I still haven't built Tesla like 8 years in the making, right? I tried Edwin in there too. He's not too bad, but I'm only use other people's Edwin, so I don't really know if he's bad or the people's Edwins that I take in there are bad. You know how that goes. So yeah, it's been pretty fun doing some test runs in that dungeon. I do want to do a little bit more, but of course it takes a lot of time to build these units up and then actually give them runes and then level them up and stuff like that. But I'll tell you right now, for her runes are garbage and she still does a lot, pretty much just because of the single target damage. Is so much damage, and I can let you know right now, I'm not going to show you her rune build because I want it to be a surprise for her actual character video, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys, someone will be inspired to do the same BS that I do. And she's actually, her her hero talents are based on like boss killing. I don't know how good she'll be in arena, but her S2 makes her good in arena. But yeah, that was just that. Let me know if you guys are working on any kooky comps or something like that. All women, all men, or all characters from the knights, or the some people do that. All of a certain element. I did try that a couple times. But one thing I did want to discuss in this video specifically is the costumes. And now I know people don't like the costumes. I still feel like they don't have enough impact. But I did want to make a mention that I did start to notice a trend in their most recent costumes. Like these costumes, and let's go with Murdoch. Let's just take the the elephant in the room, right? You guys can't. Okay, you can't see it. They're asking $20 for a Murdoch costume, right? But when you look at the costume. Now, the difference between this and this one is that one, the skill cooldown goes down 2 turns, which is kind of cool. Not cool, but like nice to have. This one ignores defense, this one doesn't. Then it goes up 15%, right? This one basically the same, just that the buff lasts for 2 turns instead of 1 turn. You know. Oh yeah, and this one happens as well too. The buff is and as it turns, if there are 3 or less, so more, there could be more people alive to get this, and this one could be less. Now these buffs are very small. This one, the resolve happens only once as soon as you get hit. This one, it lasts for 1 turn, so you can get hit and then have another turn, similar to like Eamon's resolve, if you guys are familiar with that. Leafa's resolve, unlike this right here on the left is like Rue resolve, Verdandi resolve, you can get multi-hitted and die. This one you cannot, and everything else is the same. So the buff is not like huge. It's not like changing the dynamic of the character like how Morrigan's was. So my curious question is that, do you guys prefer costumes to be like this, where there are that crazy of a change? Like those changes are pretty good, but it doesn't change the character into a completely different character. Murdoch already got his rework, but then they released a I just find it weird and a little bit upsetting that they reworked the character and then still made a costume that made it better instead of just making that what the rework was. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't look good for them for that, you know. That doesn't really look too good in that regard. But yeah, you know, all these other costumes in here, even the Mina one is like very light. This one is a, you know, a rework costume, but it's not like crazy different from what the original was. Like this one does the same 10% more charm, and then you get a Foxfire Globe. Just, it's like a rework, and you know that's what they always were. This is not like a surprise or anything like that. These are like reworks. It makes you feel obligated to, if you want to use the character, to then invest. Same thing with Leafa's. It's like, oh, you want to like use Leafa? Well, this is a better version of Leafa. So it's like, never been a fan of it, but I've said this in many videos, and ever since I've heard it from, I think, one of Scion Storm's videos, I really do think that they should just take the things and make them epic quests. It just makes sense. It allows you to have a grind option and then a paid option, and you actually still have to grind to get to the paid option to where it actually works. So it still takes you a while to get to the stage 40. I mean, if they wanted, they can make it that you can up this up $3 more pretty much, because it's $19.99 versus $16.99. $3 more, and you don't have to do it. You just get it. Boom, you're done. And then change these that, you know, you still, if you don't pay for it, you do have to just grind out completely. I don't think most people would really mind that. And I'm bringing this up in this video because, like I said, this is going to be a weekly video. I think I'm going to do this every Monday for KC and Epic 7. This is the KC version, obviously. But it really would allow you to work towards the epic costumes, and I think that, you know, they can change what's in the deluxe pack, because I know a lot of people might also try to bring up the fact that, oh well, you know, they pay for the costume and then they're only getting 100 crystals. You know, that's the only benefit that they're getting. Imagine getting all this stuff. This is what they're getting for $16.99, you know, $17. Look at how much they get plus the costume. But meanwhile, you spend on the SSR version and you're getting crap or whack. You know, you just get 100 crystals plus the costumes, and now the costumes aren't even really that crazy of a difference like what they were. Before it was like you paid $20 for a drastic difference in the character. Now the costumes aren't even that strong anymore, in my opinion. So you might as well just do this system, $20, everyone has access to it, and you know, you instantaneously get it. You want to use it right then and there, boom, you got it. If you want to grind for it, you can. It takes a while to do this. Like I show you. I just got Lydia's. I wish that there was like a time slot to tell you and show you how long it takes to get an epic quest costume. It takes close to a month to get it. So if there's like, if they wanted to tie these to dungeons, hey, that would be better, you know. And so yeah, that's just what my little rant on the epic costumes. You know, as long as it's in the game, I'll talk about it. You know. Second thing that I kind of wanted to bring up was, I will do my time space void soon. Don't you guys worry. I know some people look forward to that. Doesn't get the most amount of views, but I know some people look forward to that. Second thing I wanted to talk about was the Advent Dungeon. Some people got confused by my joke. I put in the video of Momo summons. I put a joke in the front of it, so we're like, oh, this is why I need to summon for Momo, because this dungeon is so hard. I just did the first stage like on auto, and then edited to when each one of my characters died, and just oh, I can't do this dungeon, I need to summon. I always summon for the new character. Some people are very maybe unfamiliar with me, but if there's a new character, I'm summoning for it. I want all the characters in the game, pretty much. That's just kind of how, and it's very easy to do if you save your crystals. All right, look, I already spent it, and I'm already back to being able to do a summon. But one thing that I do want to make like let you guys know, I don't like this system. I don't. I don't like the bonuses. I don't like the non-bonuses. It's not a good system. The reason why is I have to explain this, right? So like, let's take Lily, everyone's favorite dungeon, right? Now, Emilia is a bonus unit, has no interaction with the dungeon. Now, Junia has interaction with the dungeon, changes how some of the dungeon works, but isn't a bonus unit. So it's like this hidden lore that you have to like find to make the dungeon easier for yourself, right? So I would prefer more stuff like that. I know people hate like, oh, Junia makes it too easy. I want more stuff like that, like that benefits you for building characters that are inside the lore of the person or whatever like that. Like, what does Elizabeth have to do with the dungeon? What does Jacqueline have to do with, Lily? What does Sid have to do with Lily that he has to be a negative unit? And what does Cordelia have to do with that? If that makes any sense. Why are these characters bonus and negative units when they had nothing to do with the actual dungeon? And Junia that does. Same thing with, let's go down here to Britton's. What does Nyx, Leafa, and Janice have to do with Britton? Like, and I don't know all the lore. I'll be the first one to admit it. I completely don't know all the lore. Just don't. Now, what does Christian have to do with anything that has to do with Britain besides the devs just not wanting you to use Britain? Sorry, the devs not wanting you to use Christian or Altair for whatever that, for whatever reason that is. I guess because he can just keep resetting the bleeds or whatever. But that's just my point. Like, I think that they should either remove the system completely or... Actually, no. I just want them to remove it completely and then have it that if you bring in certain characters, when you find it, it will be like this cool little Easter egg effect. Like, oh, I brought in Laurel into the Britain dungeon, so, stuff like that. And, I just think that would just be a little bit more cool. It would, brings more content to people that find these random, like, cool things in the game, like these random Easter eggs. Like, it benefits you from knowing the character, and things of that nature. Like when you make a dungeon like Web of the Spider, and it's like, well, Christian was a negative unit in Britain's and he's also a negative unit here, and you got to think like, why? Lily's dungeon just is still frustrating. I think her dungeon, I actually like her dungeon. I like Tesla's dungeon too, but like, you kind of like, you can opt not to use this character at all and just not summon up for that character, and then that kind of sucks. I'd rather just summon for the characters because I want the character, not because they're good for a one specific one-off dungeon, and then the dungeon's easy to do. I think that kind of makes the dungeon a little bit more crappier. Not like it makes it. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. It makes it crappier. It just doesn't. It makes it not as fun to use or to play in because it's so directed towards the banner character. You have to summon for the banner character, whether or not you want it or not. But then it depends on if you want this character. Do you want Arachnia? If you want Arachnia, you should go get Momo. But as we all know, you can always get the character with the helper system, but just not a fan. Like right now, I farm Britain because he's an easy thing to farm. It doesn't matter who the hell you bring in there. Preferably fire characters to kill the wind annoying characters, and that's pretty much it. Like that's just how that dungeon works. I like that. Just go farm it because you want Britain. I should be able to go farm Lily because I want Lily, not because I summoned XYZ and now I can do Lily, and now I can farm her to get more SSR food, Advent food. Like, then I'll just wait until I'll wait until Lily rotates out and only farm the ones that are easy, because then you won't farm Lily because she's frustrating because they built the dungeon on a bunch of mechanics that is too geared towards certain stuff. And yes, and I've said this many times before, yes, you can beat these dungeons alternate ways, but when these dungeons cost 72 stamina, and I'm not max but I'm at like 310, right? So that means I can run this dungeon the 3 times, right? But they have to be 3 successful runs. If they're any failures in there. I missed out on farming my Evo, farming my gold, farming more runes, stuff like that. I could have been doing stuff that I know will work. So that's the problem when you make dungeons that specific, that you can't sit there and waste so much stamina trying to beat them. You need to know how to beat them. They should be instructions. And I've said this before also. I don't like that I have to go into this dungeon. I have to go into this dungeon. I don't know what stage 1 does. I don't know what stage 2 does. I don't know what stage 3 does. I go in there, I die, and then boom. And you have to also keep in mind that not everyone is going to be playing this dungeon right now when it's half off. They're gonna come just like how people right now are gonna come and they're like, oh wait, Lily's dungeon. Well, how does this dungeon work? You go in there, you get wrecked. 72 stamina gone, and you might not even know why that happened, because you have to go into the dungeon and start clicking around and seeing stuff, and you might not understand why Lily is multi-striking as much as, and multi-striking and counter-striking. There's nothing that explains that. That's what makes these dungeons frustrating, because you don't know that. And then when you do find it out, you don't know if that's counterable. She's evading, but do you need more accuracy, or she just has so much evasion that you don't know that you can actually counter it? That's the problem. So that's what I'm saying the state of the game is. That's the state of the game right there. Is they need to work a little bit harder on the Advent dungeons. That's what they need. They need to work way harder on the Advent dungeons and really taking the time to just make them an overall more pleasurable experience, because this is the creme de la creme. It's Advent dungeon and arena. That's it. The epic quest is just a bunch of like random one-off farming stuff. It's not as cool as I thought it would be. I thought it would be something similar to like Epic 7's side story, which is really not that crazy either, but at least it was like something more story related. This stuff, there's no story in this. If there is, I don't know it. There's no real story in Arachnia Advent that you're like, oh man, I can't wait to do this dungeon to find out more lore, or to see how these characters work. And they don't even like talk. There's no like dialogue. Like when you do an epic quest, there's like a lot of dialogue. You can skip it, but at least it's there, you know. But Lily's dungeon, for what? Why is she here? Everything. And I hate to compare games. I don't really like to do that too much. But in Epic 7, when a character comes in, they make sure you know why they're there. I have no idea why this character's here. I don't know why Momo's here, and I don't think that they did a good job trying to make me interested in it. Because when I do read like these things when I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Have you guys done that for any of the new Advents? For Tesla? For Arachnia? For Lily? Do you really care? Or are you just trying to, you know, find the best way to beat the dungeon because it's kind of part of your routine? I think that is, you know, that does help and lend a ear to, you know, why these characters are banned in Nerf. Because when you just see this, recommended here, like, when you see that, that's just frustrating. When you see that Sid's banned, or like not banned, but you can't really use him because it's just gonna screw you over, it's just frustrating. That's why people get frustrated, because it has nothing to do with it. If you were to say, if this was like Sid's like abandoned child, oh, poor Sid. But if that was like Sid's abandoned child, so like if Sid is in the group and like you get to that stage, she gets frustrated and gets a huge attack boost, then you're like, oh crap, I can't use Sid. That's her father, and she's like really pissed. That's why I can't use Sid. And it would have to match the story. That like, don't do it randomly, obviously. Then that would make a lot more sense. You know, it'd be a little bit better. You wouldn't mind it. But when you just see this and it's like, yo, guess what? 3,000, 300 less attack percent because it's Sid. We don't want you using it. I think that's just what's frustrating. So I think that, you know, as far as I do still like the game, especially for how easy it is to farm. I love just farming easily in this game, letting it do what it needs to do. And then if we have to compare games, because I just did that, right? Epic 7 needs to learn a lot from this game as far as like ease and like comfort of use, or whatever the hell, like quality of life, whatever. This game has a lot of good stuff to make it not so straining on you. And I think that that's what makes it so good. Just like, you just feel comfortable. You just feel at ease, like, oh, just do this for me. I gotta go look at something. I gotta watch some TV. Let me just have this farm on the side. Definitely need to learn a lot from that. But let me know what you guys think. Also, if you guys like the video, of course, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you can financially support, even $1 helps. The Patreon link is going to be down below as well. and let me know what you guys think about the game currently. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know also if you guys are working on anything that you want, like either help or advice or anything like that. Of course, I'll be posting this up on Reddit and on YouTube, of course. Duh, that's the YouTube video. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.